Hello everybody and welcome back to Imperator, where apparently these guys are on force march. Okay, I'm not sure why, but whatever. So Mesopotamia is lacking a governor, and there is a scorned family, so we'll put this guy in there. That'll be fine. There's actually still a scorned family, but that's okay. That's the ruling family. Now, we have this slave rebellion happening here, and we are marching on down. So let's go deal with that. That'll definitely be a little bit to deal with. Do we have any colonizable territory right now? Well, we're currently working on colonizing 3 of these areas down here. And once they finish, we'll be able to get this last one. And then the question will be, will we be in position to be able to access any of this? We'll see. Now, these guys have moved out into Gera at this point. Okay, we're going to head up over this way then, because we need to catch this force. I think they're coming in here. Nope, they're going up this way. Okay, well, we're on force march, so we're going to catch them. And they're all light infantry, so yeah, we fairly easily won that. Where are they retreating to? They have to be retreating back down to here, right? Let's see if we can beat them there. We're going to be force marching on the road. Actually, they went down to Gera, but Gera stack wiped them. Okay. So that looks good. So we need to come back down over here and take this back. We just gained 3 stability, and you know what? We'll make an example of them. Perfect. So we don't need to cap this then, but I'm going to put these guys here-ish anyway. They're taking attrition here. Really? Supply limit of 101. Okay. Well, we can move them back up over here then. I guess that's fine. So there's that slave rebellion handled. And of course, we're soft capped on our gold. There's not a lot we can do about that, to be honest. We can put these guys on drill, and where's our other legion at? There they are. They're no longer building road, so we can put them just right here, I guess. Okay. And then they can get to drilling as well. Cool. So that looks fine for the moment, and let's see what we've got going on here. We can actually build a farming settlement. Okay. Definitely do that. And a slave estate. Sure, why not? And let's see what we've got for cities. Okay, only 2, at least for the moment. Cool. So Diospolis, that's an interesting thing. I would have gone with like Diosopolis, but no, it's Diospolis. Okay, we just got this war. We'll check in on that in just a moment. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that one. But we need to come in over here and grab a pair of forums. So that looks good. Now, who is this? Oh, okay. That's interesting. We're going to force march all the way down to here. And let's see if we can beat these guys here. I don't know if we can. We're at a bit of a disadvantage there, but force marching will get us there somewhat quickly. Emphasis on somewhat. I would like to control this ourselves and take this, because we don't want Gera to have all of this territory, right? So that'll be fine. We've already built roads in this area, but we can just siege this down without any problem. That'll go nice and quick. We don't need to be on force march anymore now that we've managed to start up this siege. And I'm hoping that Gera just comes down here and fights their forces for us. That would be ideal. Do they have any other territory? Not that I see. Okay. Well, we do need a new governor up over here. And we do have the scorned Davidite family. So it could be this guy. Sure. That looks good. The siege is over already. Wow. Okay, that was fast. We're going to walk over this direction and eliminate this force. Looks like we're not quite going to catch them. That's understood. Okay, so they're stack wiped, and then we're going to come over here. This is all auto-capping, which is fine. And we're going to stack wipe these guys while we wait on these auto-caps. Okay, so that auto-cap is now done, and we can sue for peace. We're going to take all of this territory for ourselves, which is going to get us 10 aggressive expansion, but that's understood. And we'll lose half a point of that. There we go. And we can put these guys down, like, over here, or even over here. Okay. So, unfortunately, I don't think taking territory like this is changing the maximum amount that we need. I'm going to make a save, and I'm going to find out. So, game is saved, and then I'm going to load the previous save. This is the save that I loaded, I believe. Yeah, this would be the save that I loaded when we started this episode. So let's hop in here, and I want to check to see if the amount of integration progress changes when we take that territory. So we know that we needed 1504, I think it was, in the previous save. And in this save, 1648. Okay, so let's reload the save that we just made, 1648.5. And let's take a quick peek at what we've got here. If so, that's a significant savings for us in terms of time. So that would be very, very good. Okay. So, taking a look at this now, yeah, 1504.5. So that saved us 144 integration progress. So if we take a look at how much progress we're getting per month, it's 0.75 right now. So 144.5. And then we divide that by 0.75. That saved us 192 2/3 months. That's a lot, to be honest. I'm very happy about that. That's a very big deal. That's a lot of time saved. I mean, the pop out over here is pretty decent, right? This is a city. It's okay. It's in the category of okay. Let's get these guys drilling, and for the moment, we can build a single farming settlement out over here. And then we can also build a slave estate, 3 of them. So we'll get all of that going. Is this fort necessary? The answer is no. I'm going to eliminate that fort, and we're going to need to rework any of the cities that are in this territory. There are 3 of them. So this produces honey. That makes our choice very easy. We don't need the conscript camps. We can do something like this. Keeping the freeman districts are fine. I don't want the noble district. The aqueduct is not necessary at this time. It might be necessary later, but we can do something like that. Okay. So this has no buildings. It produces earthenware. Okay. The freeman happiness pretty much means that we want this to be a slave/freeman city. So we'll do something like that. And then we've got this location. So this is opium, and that is also freeman happiness. This is currently set up kind of as a research city in a weird sort of way, but it's got the forums. I don't know. The AI does weird things. We're going to do that. Okay, so that's all working now. That looks good. And this would eventually be colonizable out over here. And, right, we just got a... Losing political influence for 2 pops? Yes, please. We just got some claims out over here, although our aggressive expansion is still up there, so we're not too concerned about that. Now, this down over here, this is not colonized either. So that's noted. We'd want to colonize this for sure, but I want to check in on the progress down over here. Now, both of these became colonized. So that means that we need to wait until this is colonized. Yeah, that's what happens here, is we need to wait until this is done. So when will that be done colonization, or done with this colonization? It should be fairly soon, to be honest. Very bold of them indeed. I wish that this had like a tooltip that told us the progress on it. That would be nice. I guess until 17 June 1879, so that's a few months. That's not bad. Okay, so let that go for the moment. And here we can see that we have 6 pops. Of these, 3 are Hebrew. If we could move a Hebrew pop in here, actually we can, from Saruk. So we can do that, and now we should be able to colonize Dunk. There we go. That looks good. This is colonized here. So the next location that we would want to colonize would be Kor, which would mean Labris Omana would need some pops moved in here. So we would need Hebrew pops. Here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we would need one more pop here, like that. 7, and the majority of these are Hebrew. So that would mean that we should be able to colonize this. Yes. So we'll get that going. Okay. Is this no longer colonizing? Huh. It must be because we moved a pop out of Saruk. Or moved a pop out of Ekrun. Interesting. Okay. I'm not seeing a Hebrew pop that we can move into Ekrun for the moment. We're going to let these colonizations finish, and then we're going to go for this one. It's very clear that that's the issue. So we're just going to let these finish. Apparently, if you no longer qualify by moving the pops out, it cancels it. Good to know. That is definitely good to know. What about this up here? Because we do need to colonize this. So there are 10 pops here right now, and 1 Hebrew pop available. Okay. There's a lot of territory out over here that could be colonized. So I'm wondering, what about up here? I see a couple of Hebrew pops here. So we can move in 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Then we can move a bunch of pops back out of here. So I want to move these out of this area here. So this needs to be from here. 1, 2, 3. And we would need to move like that. Okay. So now this should be colonizable, which we will do. Now, I don't think we need to colonize all of this for our mission. Let's check in on that. I don't think that's the case. So for that, we need to... Yeah, we need to control all of that. Okay. This guy is... Has he learned his lesson? I don't think he has. We'll recuperate our losses, and you can see we're maxed on our treasury. So looking at this, there's all of this out over here, but this is uninhabitable, right? There's no way that we can colonize that. We can certainly colonize these here, and we're going to do so. So let's get that all completed. This is actually colonizing very quickly over here. So that's good to know. Let's get this area colonized up, and that'll be fine. The main goal here is we want to be able to move these pops down to colonize here. That's the primary goal here, which we should be able to do reasonably soon. So we're going to let this get colonized. That'll be fine. This guy died? Okay, sure. We need a new governor out over here, and there is a scorned family, so let's take a look at that. This guy. Cool. So that looks fine, and now, while we're waiting on this, we can check in on some of these buildings. Oh, look at that. So we can do Moreau on this move back because we loaded that save. Yeah. So this is down over here. 3 buildings that we could build here. This is a metropolis, so that is fine. I'm currently leaning towards simply 3 libraries. Looks okay. So next up would be Door. Up over here. Okay. Looks good. 2 buildings here. And this would be a pair of tax offices, for sure. Okay, next would be Kanat, which is out over this direction. Okay, awkward research city is awkward, but it'll do. Next up would be Tawar, which is out over this way. Looks fine. So 2 tax offices here should be fine. And then we've got now Kratis. Right up over here. Wonderful. Research City, 2 libraries will work. Hang on. We're maxed on our pop cap. I'm going to do 1 library and an aqueduct. Okay, next up would be Bori. Over here. Well, this is an awkward setup. Okay, we would do a pair of mills for sure. That'll do. Then we've got Maya Drasha, which is out here. Wonderful. So we would put in a Freeman District and then a tax office. Looks fine. Then we've got Gijit, which is the last one that we need to do for now. So that looks good. Let's put in just a pair of tax offices there. We'll do just fine. Although, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, if we built an aqueduct, we'd be at 79 pop cap. We'd need only one more to metropolize that. So I'll do that for now, and we can see that out over this way, we've just about finished our colonization here. So this is going to be done on 12 November. Looks good. Communion of the Way. Okay, we are going to continue slaughtering them. Excellent. So we just need to wait until 12 November here. And then we will have this under our control. And Donk will be under our control eventually as well. Okay, in theory, this is now ours? Maybe? It's not being colonized anymore. Okay, I guess we failed to colonize it? Sure. The issue is pop growth, isn't it? Yeah. That's the issue. This went to 50%. Oh, man. Okay. So we need to move a pop out of here, and that is going to be down here. It needs to be a Babylonian pop. So we're going to do that, and then we can see that we have 2 Hebrew pops and 3 Babylonian pops. So now we can rerun this colonization. In theory, it is already being colonized. Maybe we just need to give it a month tick. Yeah, it updated on the month tick. Okay, that looks fine. So this produces dates, so we want to build a farming settlement here. But we also want to move in some pops here. So the current pops are Hebrew. Okay, 2 Hebrew and a Babylonian pop. So we're going to need to move in an additional 2 Hebrew, and then we're going to need to move in 2 Babylonian pops to give us 7 pops, and 4 of those being Hebrew. That would allow us, in theory, to colonize here, which is the location that we need if we want to complete this mission. So that would be... Actually, that's no longer highlighted. Okay, whatever. Well, we're working on it. We are definitely working on it. So this down over here is going to be colonized eventually. We might need to wait for a month tick on this. I think this should be colonized at this point until 23 March 880. Okay, it's just not showing up in our list for some reason, but we can see that we have 2 out of 5, but it's not in the list. I don't know. Colonization is kind of buggy in this game, particularly with the Terra Indomita mod. So, I don't know. Dirac and Core are both colonizable. I'm wondering if we want to actually do this. Dirac is probably fine. Let's go ahead and colonize this one. And then, where is Core? Ah, that's this out here. I was under the impression we were colonizing Core, but sure. Let's get going on that. Okay, so we're down to 2 of 5. This is still being colonized, according to this. We'll see what happens on 23 March. It's definitely buggy, but we would love to get this all under our control. So that is definitely making some progress. I believe this is being colonized. Yes. This is being colonized. This is being colonized. And we should be colonizing Dunk as well. And then Rumilla would be the next location that we would look to colonize. We already have an Israelite Hebrew there. Awkward. Okay. Well, this is fine for the moment. We can see that this is no longer being colonized. That went away. Okay. Really awkward stuff going on here. For the moment, we know that Core is being colonized until 7 February 881. I think I'm just going to leave that be, and we'll come back to this in a little while. We'll see what that ends up looking like later. Because, I mean, this is being colonized, allegedly. But I don't think it's actually being colonized. This clearly was not colonized. So let's just let these finish. So that's 881. Okay, sure, we can take gold. We're going to be maxed anyway. 7 February, 881. This is going to be 22 November, 880. And this is going to be 29 September, 880. Okay, so let's just wait until February before we do anything else there. So that'll be fine. Next up, we can do Oinowanda, which is down here. Okay. I actually didn't expect that to be Anatolian based on the name, but sure. So we're going to put in a tavern, and then we would put in a tax office. Cool. That looks fine, and then we would do Cretopolis. Excellent. So this, we would definitely put in a forum, and we would put in a second forum. There we go. We need a governor in Phrygia, which we don't need a Scorn family member for. We'll do this guy. That looks fine. And now we've got a keek. Okay. So down over this direction, let's put in... Interesting setup. A pair of Freeman districts for now. Okay. So it is currently September. Let's check in here. This is being colonized until 29 September. Okay. That went away. The month tick happened. This is not colonized. So we're going to have to recolonize that. Let's let core finish, and that is, of course, up over here. So that's being worked on until 7 February. This down here, no longer being colonized. This is not being colonized. And this is being colonized until 22 November. We'll see if this one goes through. We're definitely running into some weird issues with colonization, but we can get there. We're just going to have to be a little more careful with how we're doing it, I think. A little bit more meticulous. That's fine. Okay, so it is currently past 22 November, and it is now December. Month tick has happened. This did not get colonized. Okay. So, this here is not colonized. This is not colonized. This, we're going to just leave be until it finishes. That'll be 7 February. I believe that this is correctly colonizing at this point. So there's the autosave. We've now got about 1 month until this colonization finishes. So we can now see that this integration is going to be done around 1 January 1009. Okay, that is noted. I can't remember when the end date is, but we'll find out eventually. We'll get there. It's definitely longer in Terra Indomita, and we're probably pretty close to it, if I had to guess. I gotta look it up again. Terra Indomita end date. Let's see here. I know it was difficult to find last time I looked it up, and I can't remember what it was. It's up there for sure. We need the wood. No, don't increase our usage. There we go. So that's all fine. Yeah, it's very hard to find the actual end date documentation of the Terra Indomita mod. But it's pretty far. I know that. The question is how much further, because I mean, we've been going for a long time here, for sure. I don't know if we're going to get Gera integrated before then, but yeah. Actually, if I remember correctly, it was put in Discord. Let me check. End date. What do we got? Right. If I remember correctly, the current date is 128 CE. Okay. I don't think it was put in Discord, actually. I would have to go back and check the previous series. Yeah, I don't remember what the Terra Indomita end date is. We'll find it eventually, I'm sure. So that is absolutely fine. And I mean, as far as tech goes, our tech is progressing nicely. We're definitely going to be interested in grabbing more of this diplomatic reputation. Although the next one that we would get would be definitely this, for the 3 diplomatic reputation. No doubt about that. So we would very much like to get that. That would boost up our integration a fair amount. So that would all be absolutely wonderful. We would love to do that. But at this point, core is now ours. Beautiful. We produce dyes here. Okay, let's go ahead and make a slave estate then. So now what I want to do is I want to come down here, and I want to move some pops. So we have 1 pop here right now. I want to move in 1, 2, 3 Hebrew pops, and then I want to move a 4th Hebrew pop. Now 2 non-Hebrew pops, and that will allow us to colonize here. Let's let that go, and now I'm not going to touch this region just yet. We're going to come up over here now, and I'd like to colonize here. Okay, now we're not going to touch this region until those finish. We're just going to leave those be. We're going to colonize 1 province at a time in each of these regions. So we've got 1 here that is going to need to be gotten eventually, but we can't actually get that. We don't appear to be in range of it. So that's awkward. If you've got territories like this, you can see we're not in range of it because the button doesn't even appear. So that is fine, although I'm wondering why we wouldn't be in range of it. Istana, maybe the port for Istana is up here. That's a possibility. If that's the case, 1, 2, 3 sea zones. Port here, 1, 2, 3 sea zones. That's probably what we've got going on. Istana's port may not be down on this side. We can actually find out. So I'm just going to grab our first navy here, and we could head down. We lack access to our own territory? What? Oh, it's because there's no port. Right. So the way that we would find out because there's no port is we would move these guys all the way over here, which would take 1,000,000 years because of the true ocean, and then we would try to embark someone onto them to try to figure out what sea zone they were in. It's not ideal. I'm not going to do it that way. Now, we are maxed on our political influence, which is, of course, not great. Let's see if we can find... Oh, hello. We can build an aqueduct there. Let's see if we can find a location to upgrade to a metropolis. It would be definitely a good thing to do. This is a settlement? Really? This should really be made the capital over here. There we go. That'll be fine. So this we upgraded to a metropolis previously. We're looking for an area that has at least close to 80 pops. Like mid-70s, bare minimum. That would be the ideal. This is 90. This is actually a city. Hang on, we can upgrade this guy. There you go. And that'll be fine. We could put in a tax office here, too. So there we go. There's our political influence spent. That looks good. Now, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to finish up our colonization here, and probably up here as well, eventually. But we don't have a way to get here. And that's problematic. How can we go ahead and do that? I don't know. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting indeed. Well, we'll see how we go about doing that. I'm sure we'll find a way. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy McGar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Hiro Marutsu, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.